Welcome to our executive interview series at AITalks presented by AIScoop. I'm Wyatt Cash and I'm here with Jason Payne, Chief Technology Officer at Microsoft Federal. Jason, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thanks for having me.
And I'd like to start by asking, what have been the biggest challenges in implementing AI in government services since last year? And how has your organization helped the government approach some of these challenges?
Yeah, so this is a great question because I think it's a reflection of the technology inflection point that we're at. Anytime we see new technology shifts and changes, there's always challenges, particularly as a result of the different perspectives that we all come to approaching that technology. Specifically in the case of AI and generative AI, I think there are three main challenges that we're seeing in government currently. First of which is safety and transparency. I think everybody understands the critical importance of these two factors in implementing AI, both broadly across agencies and deeply within mission solutions. And so at Microsoft, we've been focused heavily on responsible AI principles for the last 8 years and making sure that those are forefront in the way that we develop our products on our platform, as well as deploy those for customers to use and secure them. We've also made a series of voluntary commitments on how we implement technology and do things like red teaming of models and be clear about how data is processed. And so that challenge of safety and transparency is first and foremost. The second challenge that we see with customers is really around data, and I think it takes two forms. I think the first of which is we all recognize that the new AI models and capabilities of large language models are fantastic and they're amazing, but we're unclear about how they actually use our data, particularly in the government context. And so one of the things that we've worked heavily at Microsoft is making sure that government customers are clear and understand that when working with AI technologies on the Microsoft Cloud Platform, that their data is their data. It is not used to train, inform, or otherwise improve the models going forward. The other question and challenge really around data is governance, right? These technologies provide great capability to search, reason over data, and find insights that we may not have really understood before. But I think it's also exposed some challenges with data governance, and whether that's securing data, information labeling, and other types of processes that are just part of the good governance of organizations, particularly in the context of zero trust. And so data challenges certainly rise to the top. And then I think the last challenge that we see in government is probably my most favorite, which is really, where do I begin? If I think about all the conversations I've had over the last 16 months or so, they are fraught with just excitement, right? There's lots of ingenuity and there's a lot of possibilities out there in front of us on where do we actually begin applying AI and how could it impact my mission? And I think really the challenge of where to begin is probably the biggest question. And one of the things that Microsoft has done is created an AI maturity framework which helps customers through that selection process or that identification process to allow them to identify the best use cases and then the appropriate tools and architectural patterns to achieve the mission success that they're looking for.
Oh, terrific. And kind of speaking towards that, and looking forward now, what are your predictions or plans for the role of AI in government services or helping your customers again in the coming year? And how do you foresee it evolving from its current state, either this year or into next year?
Yeah, so this is a little bit of the crystal ball question, right? I think two parts to that one. I think the second part I'll maybe tackle first, which is really evolving. We've heard some of the speakers at the event today that we're really at the beginning of the AI journey for federal government, right? Like the federal government has been at the forefront of leading from a framework and a policy perspective, things that we've seen with the AI executive order, the risk management framework at NIST, the recent OMB memo M2410. So from an evolution perspective, we have a lot of road in front of us. I think the one truth I could look in the crystal ball and say is that AI is here to stay. The common thing that I like to share with folks is that the AI you're using today is the worst AI you will ever use. It is only going to get better, more pervasive. Now, within government itself, I think there's really going to be about three horizons that we see when it comes to AI. I think the first will really be in personal productivity. Right? This is where you and I are working with individual tools or systems or platforms, or certainly things like Microsoft 365, where it's going to improve our day-to-day productivity around routine tasks. So we think about summarizing the emails that I missed while I was out of the office, right? Helping me recap a meeting that I didn't attend. That'll really be the first horizon. That'll be at a personal and a team level. Where we see the next horizon of AI implications in government would really be around augmented cognition. And where we think about this is government has challenges in large-scale data sets, understanding what are in those data sets, and helping to reason over them and do so in a more efficient manner. No one has ever claimed that there's going to be less data or more time to get to insights. And I think that one of the key places that we see a lot of this possibility for augmented cognition is in cybersecurity, right? AI is really going to be the place where we see the ability to close the skills gap that we have in market, as well as keeping sure that we're ahead of the pace of our adversaries in their attacks, particularly with detection and response. The final phase, or horizon, if you will, really of AI in government, I think will be around accelerated discovery. And this is where I get the most excited about the capability of AI. And we've seen some early successes with this around a platform that we've produced called Azure Quantum Elements. And really the way to think about this is you're combining the latest of AI technologies with traditional high-performance computing to upend scientific industries. In the case of our work with Pacific Northwest National Labs, we were able to identify a new molecule for batteries that is potentially 30% more efficient than current lithium-ion batteries. And so we think about the implications of AI for research, for science, how it could improve health, whether that's researching treatments for obscure diseases or large-scale pandemic problems that we have, or the climate changes that we face. The possibility impact of AI for science in the future is really the greatest promise that I think it holds. And sort of my crystal ball prediction there is we'll see far more impact from that in the shorter time than we will in sort of the destination of nirvana of artificial general intelligence.
Well, Jason Payne, always a pleasure speaking with you, and thank you for stopping by here and sharing your insights here at AI Talks.
Thank you very much.